Coming up tonight on YCN News, the boil water order remains in effect for Lebanon and West Lebanon, New Hampshire. Motorists should note the Lake Sunapee bike race takes place tomorrow. And Vermont State Police seek the public's help concerning fires in Londonderry. For more news, weather, and sports, it's time for YCN News, your local view.
Now, your daily digest of the Dartmouth Lake Sunapee region, southern Vermont, and Windsor County. News, sports, weather, and all that is happening in our area. The news on YCN, your local view.
Good evening. It's Friday, May 15th. I'm Laura James. Welcome to YCN News. The boil water order in Lebanon and West Lebanon, New Hampshire will remain in effect until at least tomorrow, says City Fire Chief Chris Christopoulos. The fire chief wants to see if the test results of a second set of water samples come back as free of any bacteria as a first set today. City officials enacted the order yesterday afternoon. Once all tests come back free of coliform or E. coli bacteria, the boil water order notice will be lifted. The New Hampshire State Department of Environmental Services is the only agency that can lift the boil water order. As a reminder, there's a fact list related to coliform and E. coli bacteria on the city's website at lebanon.net. On behalf of the fire department and city, Chief Chris Christopoulos says the public's patience and understanding related to this matter is appreciated. More information will be released once it becomes available. A reminder to all viewers of tomorrow morning's Lake Sunapee bike race. Motorists are asked to please use caution on routes 103 and 103A in New Hampshire. Turn to Vermont news. The State Police Arson Unit seeks help in requesting information from the public to assist with its investigations of residential house fires in the Londonderry, Vermont area. Currently, there are more than a dozen open investigations ranging back to 2005. Many of these fires have been classified as suspicious, and investigators have identified striking similarities in each. Information from witnesses or the public may help in positively identifying the person or persons who are responsible for causing these fires and resulting damage. Police are working with other state agencies on the rash of recent fires. First-degree arson is a felony in Vermont and is punishable by up to 10 years in jail. Anyone with pertinent information in reference to the fires in Londonderry is encouraged to contact the Vermont State Police in Rockingham at 802-875-2112. Residents in that area of Vermont are encouraged to use closed-circuit security or battery-operated game cameras to capture any trespassers upon their property. Information can also be provided by calling the Vermont Arson Tip Line. That number is 1-800-32-ARSON. There is up to a $5,000 reward for information resulting in an arrest. The legislative season in Vermont and New Hampshire is winding down. In New Hampshire, the state Senate voted to table or set aside House Bill 403. If this bill had passed, it would have repealed the bipartisan law enacted last year to ensure safe access to reproductive health care facilities. Senator Donna Soucy of Manchester says in a news release, the bipartisan decision to table House Bill 403 works for all citizens. The bill is also known as the buffer zone law, an issue which generates concern among people regarding women's reproductive health care choices. Soucy says she's pleased the bill was tabled because it would have affected people's First Amendment rights to express their opinions regarding pro-choice issues. And she's pleased the bill was tabled and current law left in place because it would be difficult for other people to go inside or get to work in or near a particular women's health care site. Coming up on YCN News, Claremont, New Hampshire has a National Guard armory for sale. Vermont police will have a Click It or Ticket campaign starting next week, and a big win in high school lacrosse action for the Kearsarge Cougars. News, sports, and a check on weekend weather, all coming up when YCN News returns.
The YCN News continues in a moment.
Welcome back to YCN News. I'm Laura James. It may seem that Claremont's Director of Economic Development, Nancy Merrill, is also a real estate agent on behalf of the city. That's because the city's council recently gave Merrill the go-ahead to market a once popular building. YCN's Lisa Connell explains.
One of two former armories in Claremont is up for sale. Earlier, the Winter Street National Guard Armory was sold by the city to a private company. That business continues to flourish. Now, Claremont city officials hope the outcome is as good for the other armory at 45 School Street. Since the 1950s, the building at 45 School Street also has been known as the Junior Sports League. Generations of Claremont kids learned to play basketball inside the multi-storied building, or they roller skated inside it as well. An archery club held practice in the basement. Those experiences will now remain as memories. The city closed the JSL building a year ago after safety and other issues raised concerns. The building did not have a smoke alarm or fire detection system, and its furnace was faulty. The building also was being misused in two ways. There was a person living inside the building as though it was an apartment, a use not allowed or authorized, and another person used space inside the JSL to run a ceramics business. Last month, Development Director for the City of Claremont, Nancy Merrill, and another city employee took another look at the now vacant building. They surveyed each floor and room, reminiscing along the way on the building's use and history. The city is putting the building up for sale, and Merrill is preparing the request for proposal. It is too costly for the city to hold on to the building and maintain. A private owner or other for or not-for-profit entity could be the best way to repurpose this building. A request for proposal will detail the cost and terms of sale. For YCN News, I'm Lisa Connell.
For more information on the JSL building, call the Claremont Planning and Development Department at 603-542-7008. Additional contact information is on the screen below. Oh, there's a reason, say police in many states, why seatbelts save lives, especially at night when most car accidents happen. With Memorial Day weekend coming up, Vermont law enforcement officers are urging everyone to buckle up. Beginning May 18th, law enforcement officials will be out in full force, taking part in the 2015 National Click It or Ticket Seatbelt Enforcement Campaign, says Northern Click or Ticket Task Force leader Sergeant Alan Fortin of the Shelburne Police Department. As we kick off the busy summer driving season, it's critical that everyone buckles up every time they go out, day or night. No excuses. Officers are prepared to ticket anyone who's not wearing their seatbelt, including drivers that have neglected to properly buckle their children. So please click it or ticket. In other public safety news, there will be a Canine Awareness Day in the Upper Valley tomorrow. The Lebanon Police Department Canine Unit and canine teams from throughout the Twin State region will do live canine demonstrations on May 16th. To see the demonstrations, just go to the West Lebanon Feed and Supply. That's on Railroad Avenue in West Lebanon, New Hampshire from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Canine Awareness Day is done yearly to allow community members to see their police dogs at work and to learn more about the important functions these animals serve in our communities. The event is free, and this year they're raising funds for the Vermont Police Canine Association. It's a nonprofit organization where many police canine teams train, including Lebanon's Police Canine Unit. Coming up on YCN News, the name of the book is Toxic Staple. Lynn Solomon chats with the author when YCN News returns.
The YCN News continues in a moment.
Welcome back to YCN News. I'm Mike Pizzone. There wasn't much sun out there today, but still hard to complain with temperatures in the mid-70s. Clouds will increase into the evening hours, making for a 50% chance of showers after 11 p.m., with a low of 47 degrees. Temperatures will climb back up into the 70s tomorrow, but there's a 50% chance of showers throughout the day, before things finally begin to clear up overnight. Sunday is easily the pick of the weekend with mostly sunny skies and a high of 78 during the day, before falling to a low of 51 Sunday evening. Now let's take a look at our community calendar to see what's happening over the weekend. The third annual Aaron Robar Memorial Ride and Family Day will be held tomorrow from 8:30 a.m. to 9 p.m. at the Arrowhead Recreation Area in Claremont, New Hampshire. Proceeds from the event will benefit the Stevens High School Athletic Department and the New Hampshire Flag Football Organization. The Grantham Garden Club will hold a plant sale tomorrow beginning at 9 a.m. in the lower level of the Grantham Town Hall on Route 10. Proceeds will benefit the club's scholarship fund and other educational activities. The second annual Furry Scurry 5K Run and Walk will be held Sunday at 9 a.m. at Sunapee Harbor. Prizes will be awarded to the top male and female finishers, as well as the top 3 finishers in each age group. Proceeds from the event will benefit the Sullivan County Humane Society. It's been a little while since we've last checked on any of our local lacrosse teams, so I headed down to North Sutton, New Hampshire last night to watch the Kearsarge boys in its showdown with Guilford. The Cougars have been plagued by slow starts throughout the season, and Guilford exploited that yesterday, shooting its way to a 2-1 lead by the end of the opening quarter. Luckily for the home fans, however, it was all Kearsarge from there, as coach Zach Matthews' team outscored its opponent 6-1 over the game's final 36 minutes to clinch a 7-3 victory and its third win in its last 4 games. The Cougars knotted things at 2-2 early in the second when Tom Gallo converted this feed from Lucas Muzzy, and added 3 more goals within a 55-second span when Justin Norris's pass to Muzzy here was promptly deposited into the back of the net to tie things up once again at 3-3. It was Muzzy again moments later when he sent this low shot on a feed from Leland Heckel past Guilford's keeper to make it 4-3, before a nice win on the ensuing faceoff resulted in a heads-up pass from Colton Wilhelm to Norris for the final score of the first half. Norris wasn't done yet though, making it a 6-3 game early in the third quarter when he finished off this pass from Gunnar Nurmi, before a Guilford turnover in its defensive zone led to this unassisted tally from Norris to round out the game's scoring. Sophomore Jacob Arnold played well between the pipes for the Cougars, turning aside 11 of the 14 shots he faced. I spoke with Muzzy and Nurmi after the game, who said that doing the little things proved key in the win.
Moving the ball, playing to our full potential, just playing Kearsarge lacrosse. Hustling more, going to every ground ball, playing more physical.
I also got the chance to speak with Kearsarge coach Zach Matthews, who touched on his team's slow start and ability to fight back.
You know, really, we've been talking to the kids about, we've been a slow starting team throughout the whole year, so it's not like it was just specific to this game, nothing specific that Guilford did. For whatever reason, we've got a very young team, a lot of sophomores, and we're just feeling out our opponent, kind of getting a feel for the pace of the game, what they're doing defensively. Are they a man zone? So I think they were playing a zone, which took us off guard a little bit at first. We were expecting man-to-man. Kids settled in and did a really nice job, obviously, after we identified those things.
Matthews said he's been pleased with his team's play of late, which is nice with postseason play looming less than 3 weeks away.
We just talk about the fact that the season's a journey. It's not about where we are at the beginning or even the middle at this point. And like I said, I think I've said so many times, we have a very young group here. We've got, a couple seniors who play an important role, but most of these kids are going to be coming back. So every week we try to view as a learning experience. Every game is a learning experience. And when you can learn some of those lessons and put a win in the victory, obviously put a notch in the victory column, then that's a good thing.
The Cougars are now back to 500 with a 5-5 record and host 4-5 Lebanon on Monday. The Bellows Falls baseball team put an abrupt halt to Springfield's 5-game win streak last night, earning a 10-run victory under the lights at Hadley Field. Chris Armstrong picked up the win from the mound, surrendering just 1 unearned run on 3 hits and 2 walks while striking out 7 in 6 innings. Austin Sack and Ethan Illingworth led the way offensively with 3 RBI apiece. Kyle White and Josh Rivers tallied the lone hits for the Cosmos. The Terriers improved to 7-3, and Springfield is now 6-3. Samantha Dow drove in 3 runs on 4 hits to help lift the Kearsarge softball team to a hard-fought win and a regular season sweep of Muskoma yesterday. Ashley Thompson threw all 7 innings for the Cougars, finishing with 3 strikeouts. Alyssa Hammond, Sarah Rule, and Emma Grodin played well for Muskoma, finishing with 3 hits apiece. Kearsarge improved to 5-6 on the season, while the Royals fell to 3-9. The Kearsarge girls lacrosse team also came out on top yesterday, earning a 4th straight win by way of a 7-goal victory over Guilford. And speaking of winning streaks, the Hanover boys lacrosse team won its 9th straight yesterday with a 9-goal victory over Salem. The Cougars are now 4-7, and Hanover improved to 12-2. That does it for YCN Sports. I'm Mike Pizzone.
Thank you so much, Mike. A pumpkin festival in Claremont, the controversy over immunizations in Vermont, all topics of discussion on the week in review when YCN News returns.
The YCN News continues in a moment.